Wentz now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. Flush to his right. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to make it 4th down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes that's quite a surprise to a guy playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
And he's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He sets to fire deep. It's caught at the 10. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there. 47 yards. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up. So we're right back where we started. All even as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now Hundley. Got a man. It's Brashad Perriman. Touchdown! Brashad Perriman, 72 yards. And the Saints are able to strike quickly for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They go play action here on 1st down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Alex Anzalone coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now a play fake. Wentz. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. Oh, and now some space to operate. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner, forget starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
They're going to look to throw. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's second and goal. They'll drop to throw. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And nothing there on the return. They've got the football, but they'll have to start this drive at their own 4-yard line.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
Let's go.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be second and 11. After the loss to start out, here's second and 11.
Check. Here we go. 20.
Back near the goal line. Here's Wentz. And Wentz will not be able to get rid of it. He's taken down for a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here, and the interception thrown in the red zone last. Time we'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's got a man complete. It's a big play there for the Saints. 42 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
Second and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Tight end's right. Watch tight. Tight end's right. 3 down. Hey, check. 3 down.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. A dump underneath to Jones. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, go to a zone blitz scheme.
And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
They'll look to throw here. He's to the 10. This will be caught inside the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Rashad Perriman with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Saints add on to their lead. And he's able to put it through. Lutz now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
It's caught inside the 25. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Will Fuller, 68 yards. And the Eagles are able to strike quickly for 6. Elliott good on the extra point. Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. I don't know what was going on there, but the end result, this is going to be a safety. Well, I'm not totally privy to what went on with their offensive meetings, but Charles, something tells me that one wasn't in the plan.
Yeah, when we had our production meeting, they didn't exactly share that with us, but I'm pretty sure that on the play sheet, the run backwards into your own end zone play was not written down.
Winston, the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. A handoff to Mixon. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Keeps himself upright and incomplete.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Shotgun now for Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And it's taken in at the 9. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times it's just a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, you got to like what they're doing. They have put distance between themselves and their opponent.
Looking to add on here in the second quarter. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
I got one. Single. I got a single in the slot.
Looking to throw. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up the screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late. And that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll try and throw for it here. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? So after the INT, here's Wentz. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right. And this is caught at the 20. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
Into the red zone. Wentz. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. Dancing to his left. And he slides to avoid the hit. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on 1st down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off. Not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down. Makes it manageable now.
On play action, it's Wentz. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Another dangerous throw there, partner. I mean, he's already thrown 2 interceptions here in the first half. I don't know if you want to keep throwing up 50-50 balls when you've had that kind of lack of success.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well could have been a 3rd interception in half number 1. And Elliott puts this one through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And we have seen a lot on the scoreboard here in this quarter. So sometimes you talk to me about tendency breakers on offense. These defenses struggling. Are there tendency breakers on defense?
All defensive coordinators keep something in their hip pocket for these types of situations. What can we do to slow down the onslaught? But the biggest thing is making sure these guys encourage each other, pick themselves up, because right now it's been a really tough ball game trying to stop these offenses.
Oh, it really has, especially as of late. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
Tight right. 3 down. Mike.
Now back to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Flex round. 4 down. Check. Watch the motion. Ohio. 52.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
4 down. Ohio.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Frank Clark in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Flex round.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to run. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is 3rd down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
Throwing on 1st is Wentz. Over the middle, complete. That's Powers. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Mixon with a 1st down carry. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And he floats one there, incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Wentz will try again on 2nd down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. offense on third down. He's going to take a shot for the... And it'll be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to try and go deep again. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 38. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
Throw left side complete. That's Powers. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Wentz now on first down. He's got Fuller. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Wentz now just 8 of 16 thus far, 50%, but it's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Wentz. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Here we go, here we go. Got it, we got it. Let's go, great.
Again, it's Wentz. Fighting through pressure. Stepping up, he'll try and run. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. Now a signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And the kick by Elliott is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he's going to be taken down here, as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
The second half starts with a carry by Jones. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They'll go again to Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Here's the first carry for Bo Scarborough. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. A give to Jones. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down. They'll run it with Jones. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. This is Scarborough, and he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play. Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It's a 6-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 4th down. No move to get the offense off the field here. They've converted once on this drive. On 4th, they'll go again and try it once more.
Let's go. Brad 38. Brad 38. Check 52's the mic. Check 52's the mic.
From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Derek Barnett in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Try to get the run game going. This is Mixon. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great effort there. 40 yards. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
From the gun, it's Wentz. Rolling to his left. And he will find the end zone here, and the lead moves up to 7. Elliott now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Saints coming out now to take the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Now Hundley. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
The offense on third down tonight, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're looking at third and a few inches. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Here's Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
Now they'll run it with Scarborough. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on third down. It's Scarborough again. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
We've seen this offense go for it on 4th down already on this drive. I wonder if they'll go for it again.
I certainly wouldn't rule it out with these guys. They converted once earlier in this drive, but they'll roll the dice here again on 4th down. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down? Throwing, Hundley. Man open, it's St. Brown. He's got it. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. The give is to Jones. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
They'll try and run it in with Jones. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Ronald Jones taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. They'll look to throw. And he will get into the end zone. So how about that for putting it on the line? They've taken the lead by a point here in the 4th quarter. Lutz now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Working from the gun, Wentz. He finds an opening past the 40. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the 1st down at a 21-yard gain. So the youngster able to use the legs to pick up the 1st.
And one of my pet peeves when they see this guy play, when Carson Wentz takes off running the football, I always hear people go, oh, he's sneaky athletic. No, he's athletic. Watch him do it. He's an integral part of the quarterback run game, and he gets it done very, very well.
You don't like sneaky athletic, do you? That's just kind of a jab in the back.
Yeah, not when it doesn't apply. I think that's a stereotype that needs to be broken down for him.
On 1st down, Wentz. It's complete to Fuller. Finding room inside the 40. And down right around the 37. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. All told, it's an even 30 and a 1st down. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Now Joe Mixon. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Wentz to throw on second down. Forced out to his left. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Wentz going to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. And Elliott puts this one through. And with that, they will move ahead by 2 here in the fourth. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Flex round! Flex round!
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off around the 27. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. They'll stay on the ground, mixing again. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Wentz now on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Trey Hendrickson in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
4 down, check, 4 down.
Shotgun now for Wentz. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Now Wentz. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Powers. A very solid gain of 27.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
82, 82.
Oh, look at this. Wentz going to throw. This is brought in by Gibson. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Absolutely ideal there. Get a good size play, get out of bounds.
Well, you saw the coaching there. That is taught and it is emphasized. Get out of bounds, understand your situation, as well as just understanding the game.
And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. And the Saints signal for another timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here.
82, 82.
Wentz to throw. And now he'll tuck it and run. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Let's go. Great.
Back to throw. Wentz. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Powers. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Wentz now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Here's a give to Mixon. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Once again, they run with Mixon. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Good night, everybody.